My mother is begging me to let her in, mascara streaming down her face. Please, Sarah. Mom whimpers. We have nowhere else to go. I take a sip of my coffee. You left me with $2 when I was 11 years old. You were gone for 43 days. I hand her two $20 bills. Here is $40. That is 20 times more than you gave me. Her face crumbles. You cannot be serious. I am dead serious. Now get off my property. But let me back up. Let me tell you about those 43 days and exactly what happened when they returned. I was 11 years old. The summer my mother left me. Before that day, I was just a regular kid who loved her mom more than anything in the world. My mother, Patricia, was beautiful in that effortless way that made people forgive her anything. Auburn hair, green eyes, a smile that could sell ice to Eskimos. She worked as a real estate agent when she actually worked and had mastered the art of looking successful without being successful. My father left when I was 4. I barely remember him except arguments and slammed doors. After that, it was mom and me. We lived in a cramped apartment, ate Chinese takeout on Fridays, and watched reality TV together. She called me her little partner and said we did not need anyone else. Then Rick showed up when I was 9. Rick Thornton sold luxury cars, wore too much cologne, and had a gold watch that caught the light. He took mom to expensive restaurants and made her laugh in ways I had never heard. They married 6 months later at the courthouse. I wore a too big Target dress. Rick barely looked at me. We moved into his big house with a pool and nice neighborhood. My room was huge compared to our apartment. Mom stopped working entirely. For a while, everything seemed fine, better than fine, but cracks appeared. Rick made comments about money, how expensive electricity was, how I needed shorter showers, how kids cost a fortune. Mom would laugh nervously and change the subject. I started turning off every light, eating less at dinner, trying to be less of a burden. The comments got worse. By the time I was 10, Rick called me the expense when he thought I could not hear. Every school supply, doctor visit, new pair of shoes became an accusation attached to my name. Mom never defended me. She just made soothing sounds and promised to be more careful with money. She never said I mattered more than a budget line. I should have seen it coming. But I was a kid who wanted to believe her mother loved her. So I made myself smaller, quieter, cheaper. I wore shoes until they fell apart. I never asked for anything. I became so invisible that sometimes I felt like I was disappearing. I did not know Rick was drowning in debt from fraud and embezzlement. I did not know his scheme was collapsing. I did not know that when everything fell apart, they would need someone to blame. And children make excellent scapegoats. June 14th, last day of 5th grade. I had straight A's on my report card and ran home excited to show Mom. Mom, look, all A's. The house was silent, wrong kind of silent, empty silent. I walked through rooms getting colder with each step. Mom's decorative pillows gone, wedding photos gone, her magazines gone. Rick's office completely cleared out. On the kitchen counter, under a coffee mug that said "World's Best Wife," was a note on the back of a CVS receipt. Sarah, Rick and I are taking our trip to Europe. We will be gone about a month, maybe longer. You are 11 now, practically a teenager, so you can take care of yourself. There is food in the fridge and pantry. Do not have friends over. Do not make long-distance calls. Keep the house clean. We will be back before you know it. Love, Mom. There is money in the envelope for emergencies. I ripped open the envelope with shaking hands. 2 $1 bills fell onto the counter. $2. For a month, maybe longer. I opened the refrigerator already knowing what I would find. Half-gallon of milk expiring in for days. Wilted lettuce. Jar of pickles. Stick of butter. That was everything. The pantry was worse. 1 box of pasta. 1 can of soup. Half box of stale crackers. Nothing else. They had packed up their entire lives and left me behind like furniture not worth moving. I stood in that kitchen, the refrigerator humming, the clock ticking, sunlight streaming through windows like this was a normal day. Like my mother had not just abandoned her child. I should have cried. I should have called someone. I should have done anything except what I did. I got a notebook. I wrote at the top of the first page, Day 1, then I documented everything. The date, what was in the fridge, what was in the pantry, how much money I had, how I felt. I would survive, and I would remember every single day. One day they would come back, and when they did, I would be ready. The first week was pure survival. I rationed the soup into 4 portions, eating it cold because I was terrified of the stove. I ate crackers one at a time, letting them dissolve on my tongue. I crunched through raw pasta like animal feed, pretending it was cereal. By day 5, everything was gone except the pickles. I hated pickles. I ate them anyway, the vinegar burning my empty stomach. Day 8, I took my $2 to the corner store. I stood in the bread aisle for 20 minutes doing impossible math. Cheapest bread, 89 cents. Hot dogs, 99 cents. Together, $1.88 plus tax. I did not have enough. I put back the hot dogs, bought the bread, got 7 cents back. That night I ate dry bread and understood something fundamental. I was completely alone. I stopped crying after that night. Crying would not fill my stomach. Crying would not bring them back. Crying was wasted energy. I became a ghost. I picked through neighbors' trash for bottles worth 5 cents. I collected every penny from sidewalks. I washed cars for $3. I pulled weeds for $5 an hour. I told everyone I was saving for a bike. I learned to shoplift. Small things from big stores. A can of beans, box of crackers, jar of peanut butter. Things I needed to stay alive. I told myself it did not count if it was from a chain. When school started in September, I showed up clean and ready. School meant breakfast. School meant lunch. School meant to meals I did not have to steal. Teachers asked questions. Where was my mother? Working nights. Why did she not come to conferences? Caring for sick relatives. Could they speak to her? She would call back. Then I forged her signature on everything. I became so good at lying that sometimes I forgot the truth. But every night, I wrote in my notebook, day 31, day 32, day 40, still alone, still surviving, still waiting. Day 43, I heard Rick's BMW in the driveway. They were back. I heard car doors, Mom's bright laugh, Rick's deep voice, keys jingling, the front door. God, it feels like we have been gone forever, Mom said. I need a real bed. I sat in my room doing homework and did not move. I listened to them talk about Paris and Rome and Florence, about wine and art and hotels. 20 minutes passed before Mom called my name. Sarah, are you here? I walked down the hallway like I was walking to an execution. They stood in the kitchen, tan and glowing, surrounded by luggage. Mom looked surprised to see me. Sarah, you look so thin. Have you been eating? I stared at her. There was no food. Mom laughed. What? Of course there was food. You left me $2, I said. My voice was flat, dead. That cannot be right, Rick said. Patricia, you said you left her plenty. I thought I did. Mom's voice got defensive. There must have been some miscommunication. Rick shrugged. Well, you survived. You are standing here. Everything worked out. I looked at these two people who were supposed to protect me, supposed to love me, supposed to choose me. They never would. I need to finish my homework, I said. I went back to my room, closed the door, wrote in my notebook, day 43. They returned. They do not understand. They never will. But I will never forget. That night, I stopped being a child. I became something patient, something cold, something that could wait years. I stayed in that house for 7 more years, not because I wanted to, because leaving at 11 with nothing would destroy me. Staying and using their resources to build my escape. That was strategy. I worked constantly, 3 jobs by 14, all paying under the table. Every penny went into a hidden bank account. At 16, I bought my own car, a beat-up Honda that barely ran, but was mine. Mom tried to bond sometimes. Shopping trips, mother-daughter lunches. I would smile and play the dutiful daughter. But inside, I was keeping score. Every broken promise, every forgotten birthday, every time she chose Rick over me. Rick mostly ignored me, which was fine, better than fine. But sometimes I caught him looking at me with resentment, like my survival was a personal insult. I graduated high school with perfect grades and a full scholarship to Portland State. The day I got my acceptance letter, Mom cried and said she was proud. I smiled and did not mention she never helped with a single application. I moved out the day after graduation. Mom cried. Rick looked relieved. I looked at the house where I almost died and felt nothing. I did not speak to them for 3 years in college. Mom called sometimes. I let it go to voicemail. She sent birthday cards with checks I never cashed. I graduated with honors, got a job as a junior accountant, got promoted to senior accountant in 4 years, bought an apartment, then a better apartment. Then, at 30, I bought a house, a real house, 3 bedrooms, backyard, garage, the kind that said, I made it. I survived. I won. The whole time I waited. I knew people like them always face consequences eventually. I just needed to wait for their choices to catch up. The call came when I was 32. Sarah, I need to talk to you about your mother. It was my Aunt Karen. I had not spoken to Karen in years. She knew what happened when I was 11. She did nothing. What about her? She and Rick are in trouble. Serious trouble. He lost his job. Fraud charges. They are going to lose the house. Your mother needs family. I stood in my kitchen in my house and felt 21 years settle over me. Why are you calling me? Because you are her daughter. She needs you. She needed me when I was 11 and she left me with $2, I said quietly. Where were you when I needed help? Silence. Then, that was different, and it was not different. Goodbye, Karen. I hung up, but I was curious. I started following the news. Rick had been fired for embezzling, criminal investigation, civil suits. The house was in foreclosure. Mom had no job, no savings, no skills. She had spent 20 years being someone's wife, never preparing for the day he would fail. She called 2 weeks later. Sarah, honey, I know we have not talked much lately, but Rick and I are having temporary difficulties. We need a place to stay, just until we get back on our feet. I sat in my kitchen holding my coffee. No. What? No, I will not help you. Sarah, please. I am your mother. I raised you. You owe me. Owe you nothing. My voice was quiet, calm. You left me with $2 when I was 11. You were gone for 43 days. You never apologized. You never asked if I was okay. That was years ago. I was young. I made mistakes. You made choices. And now I am making mine. Please. Her voice cracked. We have been living in our car. I have not eaten a real meal in days. You cannot turn your back on family. I thought about that 11-year-old girl eating dry crackers alone. You stopped being my family the day you left me behind. Do not call again. I hung up. She called 17 times that night. I blocked her number, but I knew she would not give up. Desperate people never do. She would come to my house eventually, and when she did, I wanted her to see exactly what I had built without her. Over the next 6 weeks, the desperation escalated. Karen called again, furious. How can you turn your back on your own mother? The same way she turned hers on me, I said, and hung up. Other relatives I had not heard from in decades suddenly had opinions. Cousins called me heartless. Uncles said I was cruel. I blocked them all. Through mutual acquaintances, I heard updates. Mom and Rick were living in their car. Rick left after 2 weeks, running to another state. Mom was alone now, sleeping in a rusted sedan, looking for work. She got a job at a grocery store, minimum wage, 8 hours on her feet. The same store where I had bought that loaf of bread with $2 21 years ago. I wondered if she made the connection. More calls came. Friends of my mother. I barely remembered. Her sister Karen tried email after I blocked her number, sending long messages about forgiveness and family and how I would regret this. I deleted everything without reading. Then one Saturday morning, I heard a car in my driveway. I was on my porch having coffee, my dog Cooper at my feet reading a book. Perfect morning, peaceful. The rattling sedan pulled in and stopped. The engine died with a cough. The passenger door opened. My mother got out. She looked terrible. Wrinkled clothes, gray roots in her unwashed hair, gaunt face. She had aged 15 years into months. She saw me and relief flooded her face. Sarah, oh thank God. I took a sip of coffee. I blocked your number. The driver's door opened. Rick got out slowly, like his body hurt. He looked worse. Shoulders slumped, face gray, all his confidence gone. He stayed by the car, too proud to approach, too desperate to leave. Mom walked toward my porch, trembling. Sarah, please, please just listen. We have been living in the car for 3 weeks. I have not had a real shower. I cannot remember the last time I slept in a bed. We have nowhere else. That sounds difficult, I said, turning a page in my book. Difficult? Her voice rose. We are homeless. We are starving. I am your mother. You have to help. I set my book down and looked at her. Really looked at her. I do not have to do anything. Yes, you do. I am your mother. I raised you. Raised me. I let the words hang there. Is that what you call it? Sarah, I know I was not perfect. Stop. My voice cut through her words. Stop lying. Stop pretending. You know exactly what you did. Rick walked toward us, hands clenched. Look. We get it. You are upset about ancient history, but we need help now. You have this house. You have money. We are family. I stood slowly. Cooper raised his head, sensing tension. Ancient history, I repeated. I was 11 years old. You left me with $2 and a note. You were gone for 43 days. Do you know what I ate that summer? Sarah, Mom started. Dry bread. Uncooked pasta because I did not know how to use the stove. Pickles I hated. Food I stole from stores because the alternative was starving. My voice got quieter, more terrible. Do you know what $2 buys? One loaf of bread. That is all. And I had to choose between bread and hot dogs, and I could not afford both. Mom was crying now, but I did not stop. I collected cans from trash bins. I forged your signature on every school form. I lied to teachers because I was terrified of foster care. I raised myself because you decided Europe was more important than your child. I was young. Mom sobbed. I made a mistake. Rick convinced me. Do not blame him. You made the choice. You packed your bags. You wrote that note. You left $2. You looked at your 11-year-old daughter and decided she was disposable. Rick moved forward, aggressive. Are you going to help us or not? I reached into my pocket, pulled out my wallet, took out two $20 bills. Crisp, new, smelling like the bank. Here, I said, holding them out. Mom stared at the money. What? $40. 20 times what you left me. More generosity than you ever showed me. Her hand shot out, grabbing my wrist. Her grip was desperate, nails digging in. I need more than $40. I need a place to stay. I need food. I am your mother. I pulled my hand free and set the money on the porch railing. You were my mother. Past tense. You stopped being my mother the day you left me to starve. You stopped being my mother when you came back tan and happy and never apologized. You stopped being my mother every single day for 21 years when you chose yourself over me. I love you, she whispered. No, you do not love me. You love the idea of me as your safety net, but you do not love me. If you loved me, you would have stayed. Rick lunged, but he was too slow to defeated. You ungrateful. Ungrateful? I laughed, cold and sharp. For what? For being abandoned? For learning I was worth less than a vacation? We kept a roof over your head. Rick shouted. You left me, a child, alone, for 43 days. My calm finally broke. Do you know what that does to a person? They stared at me and I saw it in their faces. Not guilt, not remorse. Fear. Fear of what I had become. Fear of this woman who was nothing like the scared girl they left behind. I survived, I said, my voice dropping back to deadly calm. I survived because I had no choice. I built this life because I refused to be broken by you. Every paycheck was proof I did not need you. Every promotion was proof I never needed you. Please, Mom whispered. We are desperate. So was I. I was 11 and desperate and terrified and so hungry I could not sleep. And you were in Paris drinking wine. You made your choice. Now I am making mine. I picked up the $40 and held it out. Take this and never contact me again. Ever. No calls. No letters. No showing up at my door. You take this money and you disappear from my life forever. Mom stared at the money like it was poison. You cannot mean this. I have never meant anything more. You will regret this, Rick said, voice shaking with rage. I met his eyes. The only thing I regret is hoping you would become the parents I deserved. Mom grabbed the money with shaking hands. Those two 20s crumpled in her fist, crying so hard her body shook. I am sorry, she sobbed. I am so sorry. Goodbye, Mom. I walked into my house, Cooper following. As I closed the door, I heard her scream, raw and desperate and full of everything she should have felt 21 years ago. But I did not open the door. I stood in my living room, heart pounding, hands shaking, and felt 21 years lift off my shoulders as they stayed in my driveway for 30 minutes. I watched through the window. Mom sat on my steps crying. Rick paced, occasionally shouting things I could not hear. Finally, he pulled her up and they got in their car and drove away. I finished my cold coffee. My hands were shaking, but underneath the adrenaline was something else, peace. The aftermath came in waves. Karen called within hours, screaming, how could you? She is homeless and you have this house and you just. What is wrong with you? Ask my mother what she did to her 11-year-old daughter. Ask her about those 43 days. That was years ago. She needed to be a mother 21 years ago. I am not a backup plan, Karen. I am a person who deserved better. You are heartless. She made me that way. I hung up. More relatives appeared with opinions. Cousins who never remembered my birthday. Uncles who never asked how I was doing. I blocked them all. But not everyone took their side. Frank from the diner where I worked as a teen called. Your mother came in looking for work. Started talking about you. Said you were heartless. So I told her I remembered a girl who worked 60 hours a week because she had nobody. I told her she should be ashamed. Then I kicked her out. My eyes burned. Thank you. You did good, kid. Through the grapevine, I heard what happened to them. Rick disappeared to another state. Mom stayed at the shelter. Got that grocery store job, eventually found a studio apartment with thin walls and loud neighbors. The kind we lived in before Rick. The kind she thought she escaped. She told people I was cruel, that I abandoned her, that she did her best as a mother. Let her tell that story. I knew the truth. My life got better. I got promoted to CFO. I fell in love with David, a kind man who said simply, you deserved better. We got engaged. We talked about having kids. Kids I would never abandon. And every night, slept peacefully in my house that no one could take from me. 3 years after I closed that door, I got a letter. Cheap paper. Mom's handwriting. Shakier now. Dear Sarah, I know you do not want to hear from me, but I need to say this. I am sorry. I am sorry for leaving you. I am sorry for those 43 days. I am sorry for choosing myself over you. I was young and selfish and stupid. I thought you would be fine. I thought $2 was enough. I was wrong about everything. I do not expect forgiveness. I just needed you to know I understand now what I did to you. I understand why you closed that door. You were right. I stopped being your mother the day I left you. You do not owe me anything. I am proud of you, Sarah. You built an incredible life. You became everything I never could be. I am sorry, Mom. I read it 3 times sitting at my kitchen table. David making dinner. Cooper snoring at my feet. I felt nothing. Not anger. Not satisfaction. Just emptiness where my mother used to live in my heart. I folded the letter and put it in a drawer with all the other documents from my childhood. Then I closed the drawer and helped David with dinner. He noticed my mood. You okay? Yeah, I said. And I was. Because sorry does not undo damage. Sorry does not give back stolen childhoods. Sorry does not erase 43 days of hunger and fear. Sorry is just a word. People ask if I was too harsh, if I should have helped her, shown mercy. I always say, I showed her exactly the same mercy she showed me. She left me with $2. I gave her 40. She abandoned me for 43 days. I gave her 30 minutes on my porch. She made me feel worthless. I made her feel the consequences of her choices. That is not cruelty. That is justice. I am 35 now. I have a career I love, a partner who cherishes me, a future full of possibilities. I built a life where I am safe and loved and valued. Sometimes I think about that 11-year-old girl in an empty kitchen with a report card nobody would see. And I want to tell her, you did it. You made it. You saved yourself. My mother wanted forgiveness. She wanted absolution. She wanted me to say it was okay. But some things are not okay. Some scars do not heal just because time passes. I did not owe her forgiveness. I did not owe her a second chance. I did not owe her anything. When she came to my door desperate and broken, I honored that little girl by making the choice she never could. I chose myself, and I would make the same choice every single time. Because I did not ruin their lives, I just stopped saving them. My family says I am cruel. My friends say I am brave. What do you think? Should I have helped my mother? Or was $40 more than she deserved? If you believe people should face the consequences of their actions, hit subscribe. I have got more stories of justice that will blow your mind.